TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. Israeli intelligence experts warn that Hezbollah remains adamant to attack the Jewish state in the near future. Saudi Arabia voices support for Egypt vis-à-vis its western neighbor Libya, as Cairo reiterates its resolve to preserve its national security interests. Europe warns Turkey over provocations in the eastern Mediterranean. The United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, launched an investigation into the latest escalation along the border of Lebanon and Israel. At a United Nations press briefing, Farhan Haq, the deputy spokesperson for the World Body's Secretary General, revealed that the UNIFIL commander, Major General Stefano Del Col, immediately established contact with both the IDF and Lebanese military in order to contain the situation and decrease tension. The UN spokesperson further noted that an investigation has been launched to determine the facts and circumstances of the incident in reference to Hezbollah's failed cross-border incursion earlier this week, while further claiming that calm has returned to UNIFIL's area of operations in southern Lebanon.
I can say that the UNIFIL head of mission and force commander, Major General Stefano Del Col, was immediately in contact with Israel Defense Forces and Lebanese armed forces in order to contain the situation, decrease tension, and restore the cessation of hostilities. At this time, calm is returned to the area and UNIFIL is maintaining its presence on the ground. UNIFIL has launched an investigation to determine the facts and circumstances of the incident.
While a tense calm persists on Israel's northern front, intelligence experts warn that Hezbollah's proactive intention to attack Israel has not receded. Among others, Project Director on Regional Developments at the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs, Brigadier General Yossi Kuperwasser, who formerly served as the head of the research division of the IDF's Military Intelligence Division, told TV7 that the situation is not over. General Kuperwasser stressed that the current Muslim feast, Eid al-Adha, may have delayed Hezbollah's attempts to attack Israel. However, they will persist with these efforts. He further explained that the current situation between Israel and Hezbollah is practically over the rules of engagement in Syria. Hezbollah aims to deter Israel over targeting its operatives that are working with Iran in Syria on projects that are meant to improve Hezbollah's capabilities to strike Israel. General Kuperwasser emphasized this is something Israel cannot accept. In other yet related news, over the past 2 days, the Israeli Ministry of Defense hosted the annual U.S.-Israeli Defense Policy Advisory Group, which was co-chaired by the head of the Israeli Defense Ministry's Policy and Political Military Bureau, Zohar Palti, and U.S. Acting Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, James Anderson. The meeting, which was attended by senior military officials from both countries, serves as the primary platform to jointly advance the U.S.-Israel defense partnership. Throughout the session, which was held via video conference due to the COVID pandemic, both sides discussed strategic and regional security challenges, with emphasis on Iran and its malign regional activity, as well as its nuclear aspirations. Upon conclusion of the meeting, Acting Undersecretary Anderson and Director Palti reaffirmed the ironclad strategic defense partnership between the United States and Israel and underscored the importance of constant cooperation at all levels as a force multiplier. It is important to mention that the meeting comes at a time of heightened regional tensions over an apparent increase of Iranian rhetoric. Among others, the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard's Aerospace Division, Major General Amirali Hajizadeh, boasted in his country's successful test launch of ballistic missiles from underground for the first time as part of the IRGC's annual military drill titled the 13th Prophet.
ما در رزمایشی که این روزها داشتیم برای اولین بار در دنیا شلیک موشک‌های بالستیک از اعماق زمین رو انجام دادیم. یعنی
The U.S. military revealed that the RGC's military exercise, which commenced on Tuesday, caused 2 bases housing American troops in the region to heighten their level of alert, while further condemning Tehran's missile launches as irresponsible. Turning now to Israel's western neighbor, where Egyptian Foreign Minister Samih Shoukry emphasized that while Cairo seeks to realize a political solution to all regional conflicts, including Syria and Libya, Egypt intends to act in parallel to preserve its own national security interests. Following a bilateral meeting with his Saudi Arabian counterpart, Prince Faisal bin Farhan, the Egyptian top diplomat seized the opportunity to signal to its regional rival Turkey that it will not accept its growing involvement in Egypt's western neighbor Libya.
نحن نسعى في كل القضايا سواء كانت سوريا أو ليبيا للحلول السياسية، ولكن في نفس الوقت لمصر مصالح، ولمصر استهدفت وتعرض شعبها للاستهداف من قبل المنظمات الإرهابية التي نفذت إلى الأراضي المصرية من الوضع المرتبك القائم في ليبيا، وبالتالي فمصر سوف تدافع عن مصالحها وسوف تستمر في دعم المسار السياسي، ولكن لن تقبل بأي شكل من الأشكال أي نوع من التعدي أو اختراق للحدود التي تم تحديدها للدفاع عن المصالح القومية والأمن القومي المصري.
The veiled threat by the Egyptian top diplomat, which was directed at the Tripoli-based Libyan government of national accord and their Turkish patrons, was made a week after the Egyptian parliament gave President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi the green light for possible military intervention in Libya by approving the deployment of armed forces abroad to fight, quote, terrorist groups and militias. Meanwhile, at the same press conference, Saudi Foreign Minister Farhan pledged the Arab Kingdom's support to Egypt vis-à-vis Libya.
تحدثنا بالطبع عن الأمور الإقليمية، عن الوضع في ليبيا، وأكدت لمعالي الوزير دعم المملكة الكامل للموقف المصري ودعمها لإعلان القاهرة، وموقف المملكة الثابت من أهمية حل الوضع الليبي من خلال المشاورات السياسية السلمية ووقف إطلاق النار واحترام مقومات الأمن الوطني المصري أيضا، يعني أهمية إبعاد ليبيا عن التدخلات الخارجية شتى كانت أشكالها.
It is important to explain that while Turkey supports the Tripoli-based Libyan Government of National Accord, or GNA, under Fayez al-Sarraj, Egypt, Russia, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia, among others, support the eastern-based Libyan National Army, or LNA, under the command of General Khalifa Haftar. And while General Haftar managed to engulf the city of Tripoli earlier this year after a successful offensive of about 10 months, the tables turned quickly when Turkey proactively engaged in bolstering the Tripoli government with advanced weaponry and mercenaries as part of Ankara's efforts to preserve its own national security interests. These referred to interests pertain specifically to a maritime accord between Ankara and Tripoli that effectively provides Turkey legal ground for offshore exploration rights of natural resources, despite vocal European objections that dismiss the accord as null and void, since Turkey and Libya blatantly ignore the fact that between the two countries there is the large geographical landmass of Crete, which is sovereign Greek territory. The dispute has seemingly ratcheted up tensions between Europe and Turkey, which culminated on June 10th, when a Turkish naval frigate named Gokova essentially threatened a French naval frigate named Colbert, as the latter sought to inspect a civilian vessel suspected of transporting banned weapons from Turkey to Libya. While the incident naturally infuriated France, which acted as part of a UN-backed mission to impose an arms embargo on Libya, Turkey insists that the naval mission, dubbed Irini, did not have the legal rights to board the civilian vessel, and further accuses the mission itself of being biased in support of General Haftar.
İrini operasyonuna siz iyi niyetle bakabilirsiniz ama sahadaki uygulamalara baktığımız zaman kesinlikle taraflı. Yani Haftar'ı destekliyor, ulusal mutabakat hükümetini ise cezalandırıyor.
In light of the naval incident, alongside other perceived provocations by Turkey against European states, Greece and Cyprus, French President Emmanuel Macron called upon the European Union to take concrete steps against Ankara.
En effet, dans cette partie de la Méditerranée qui est vitale pour tous nos pays, les questions énergétiques et de sécurité sont aujourd'hui essentielles. Et elles sont l'enjeu de lutte de puissance en particulier de la Turquie et de la Russie, qui s'affirment de plus en plus et face auxquels l'Union européenne pèse encore trop peu. Ce serait une grave erreur que de laisser notre sécurité en Méditerranée aux mains d'autres acteurs.
Speaking alongside his Cypriot counterpart, Nikos Anastasiades, the French head of state voiced his unwavering support for both Nicosia and Athens.
Cher Nikos, je veux ici une nouvelle fois redire la pleine solidarité de la France avec Chypre, mais également avec la Grèce, face aux violations de leur souveraineté par la Turquie. Il n'est pas acceptable que l'espace maritime d'un État membre de notre Union soit violé ou menacé. Ceux qui y contribuent doivent être sanctionnés, et vous savez que vous pouvez compter sur le soutien de la France à ce sujet. L'Europe doit protéger sa souveraineté avec la plus grande fermeté.
The French position is not exclusive within Europe. German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas warned Turkey last week that unless it stops with its provocations in the eastern Mediterranean, EU-Turkey relations would not be possible. Thank you for watching us. As part of TV7's initiative, I would like to encourage you to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to pray. We would like to lift up today Finland once again in prayer for the salvation and peace of the nation, alongside our ongoing prayers, of course, for the peace of Jerusalem, the salvation of Israel, as well as for all those who are impacted by the corona contagion worldwide. I'm Jonathan Hassan, Evan Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.